Welcome, CSFC members, to the lounge. And I am your host, Leonardo, and founder of the Fitness Talk. And we have here our newest addition to the CSFC personal training. Matthew, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
How did you find us? How did you get here first? I always ask everyone that because I want to know.
Well, I'm originally from the Joliet area, so I've always, Charlie Club was here. I used to come here as a kid, so I've always been aware of this gym when I went to Gold's. And my wife used to work out here, and then so one of the trainers that's been here for a long time, Denny, he gave me a heads up. We're friends with him outside of the gym, and came in and talked to Danny, and here I am.
And then you just came over. Wow. Okay. So how did you get started with all this training?
Well, my training started as a secondary job years ago, probably 2015.
Okay.
I've always been into fitness, whether I've been lifting weights in high school, and then I was martial arts. I taught karate for 15 years.
I did see that. You do martial arts too.
Yeah. So,
okay, let's stop with the other stuff. Martial arts. How does that been going?
I don't train in that anymore. I mean, I'm capable of that. I obtained my secondary black belt in the Joliet area.
So did you compete at all, or?
Yeah, I competed in sparring tournaments when I was younger. As I got older, I mean, that's something you can do all your life too with martial arts. I just got gravitated more towards strength and power, lifting, and so that's I got out of the martial arts. So, but it was a good journey. It was a good journey. I learned a lot, except for discipline, and so I try to implement that into my training also. Not so much the martial art moves, but the mental aspect of discipline.
You gotta have discipline.
You gotta have discipline when you're working out.
Oh yeah, and that's a big one that we don't have. And we were talking before all this, and I was telling him about the app that I'm using. He's like, "Is it AI?" I'm like, "It's not AI. It was AI before, but not no more. Now it's actual coaches." But they were talking about discipline, one of the main things. Here, the food, your sleep.
Yeah.
What are your vitamins, whatever you're taking, like if you're not disciplined any of those things, like you're going to see little to no change at all. Now with you doing your personal training, how does that work? How do you make sure they get disciplined in there?
Well, a lot of it is your self-image, okay, and just not only a physical body aspect to training. You got a mental aspect. You got your physical health. You got your mental health, right?
Right.
So I try to incorporate that through the sessions and reassure my clients that it's not all about the body, but it's about the mind. So
right.
we try to meld them two together, okay, as far as what I preach for fitness.
Okay.
And it's a lot of this about accountability. When you show up, and you got to make a routine out of it. You show up. I tell my clients, show up at the door, and then I'll do the rest. Okay, and when you leave that door, you're going to be better than you were before you came. Okay, and that's what I bring to accountability. And because sometimes you wake up, we're all human beings, even myself. I go to the gym, work out. Sometimes I don't feel, I'm not feeling it that day.
Oh,
but if I have somebody there that's waiting on me, depending on me, then that's going to push me to get it done.
Yeah. So. No, I 1,000%, because I'm the same way. One of the things I was telling them early right now, it's about the waking up. I've been doing it a minute by minute, 5:30, 5:49. So I finally got it till 4:59. I'm up. I'm just doing it minute by minute, and it's working. It's not taking, it's not a quick thing, but it's taking a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to be able to wake up at least 4:30, get up, do what I got to do, pray, whatever, and then just boom, on to the next thing.
It's a routine, and I will say that's one of the best things you can do for yourself. Set a good routine, but that is a good habit. What happens is, as humans, we only have so much willpower, and that willpower decreases. It's like a tank of willpower, and when that willpower is gone, you don't want to do anything. But when you create a habit doesn't use willpower. Habits just boom, boom. It's just routine. Okay, so you want to set yourself a habit, plug in that gym time, plug in that. Whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or night, whatever works best for you, and it'll get done by habit.
It'll get going, yeah. Because I noticed that it's halfway over here. I don't want to come no more. I've been to the parking lot where they're like, I'm okay. I don't want to do anything. Yeah. So I had to, evolve, navigate, use different stuff to come here. So that's why I transferred to the ladder. It's called the app that tells you what to do, and I'm like, all right. I don't think about it, and I just go.
Yeah.
And it works for now. for now, because I know a few months later I'm probably gonna need something
Well,
else.
just worry. All we have is now. Today. Now, to worry about today. Don't worry about the future, because that's another thing about that mind.
Hmm.
We start stressing about how am I going to look like 10 years from now. If you utilize today the best you can,
Yeah,
you'll be all right.
down
So,
the road. Yeah, yeah. Now, going back to the personal training, how do you assess the person?
um, well, it all comes down to goals. It
Huh.
comes down to communication. You got to be
Yeah.
a good listener, and as a personal trainer, it's the quality I have. When somebody comes to me, I ask them, what's your why?
Hmm.
That's the most important thing for
It
them.
is.
Why are you here? Why are you doing this? What do you want to accomplish? And then I take all that information, and I literally create a program for that individual. We talked about this before. You're not going to be able to take one program. It's not going to work for everybody. Everybody has
Yeah.
a lot of different factors and variables involved.
Yeah.
So a good personal trainer is gonna look sift through all that,
Hmm.
and is gonna create a program that works for that individual's
Yeah.
goals. It's like we're gonna climb. This is your goal. That's the mountain.
Hmm.
And I'm your guide. I'm gonna try to get you to that top of the mountain. Can you get to the top of the mountain by yourself? Most likely, but it might take 2 years. I'm gonna try to help you get there a little quicker, a lot quicker.
Quicker. Oh yeah.
Without getting injured. To also, that's a
That's
big
a
thing.
big
I'm big on
one.
safety. You can watch things on Instagram, you see all this stuff, and you can go to the gym
It
and
looks
try it on your
beautiful.
own.
It
Yeah.
looks great.
But if you don't have a good person, your coach watching you, make sure you don't get hurt, because nobody wants to get hurt. And then you got to go to the ER, and you got medical bills, and
it's
then
horrible.
you can't train. So a good personal trainer is going to look out for your safety, make sure you're staying within yourself. So,
What did you think about powerlifting meet?
oh, it was great. Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
good. Very well done. Kudos to all the gym, Alex, and everybody that was involved with that.
Yeah.
Did a really good job. I was impressed. Yeah,
See
some strong individuals too.
You see those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're too strong.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
what are they feeding them?
Yeah, they got.
Yeah. Have you done any of the powerlifting meets or
When I was
just,
younger, when I was
did heavy?
younger,
Did you really?
Yeah, but as I got older, I stayed away from the strength, going too heavy, because I mean, your human bodies can only take so much abuse, I don't want to call it abuse, but your joints and your spine, it's going to feel that 400 or 500 pounds as you get older,
Oh, and
so
in reality,
you
we
gotta be
are.
careful.
We just don't realize
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're stressing it for the muscle to grow, but there's a lot involved that we don't realize.
Right.
Cortisol, this and that, our emotions that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Our emotions are a big one. Oh, I missed it.
Sure.
And if you're not mentally there, you will spiral down. I know that. I've seen it quite a few even individuals in here.
Fitness, your workout, that all makes you healthier, mentally healthier.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to, because I saw on that you train a lot of 40 and over.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do, what do you do for safety? Because safety is one of the things that even I'm practicing right now.
One of the big things for safety is first your movements. What are you capable of doing? Some people cannot squat to a certain depth. Some people cannot, put their hands over their head. So you got to look at their mobility, their flexibility. So you have to work on that to get in proper range of motion. Okay, it's not all about. Everybody wants to get stronger. Everybody wants to get the big muscles,
Yeah.
But you gotta walk before you can run.
Yeah.
And that sounds kind of corny, but that's true when it comes
No,
to
it's true.
safety. So just stay within. And that's why each individual is different.
Mhm.
You got to stay within your realm of what you're capable of doing. Because once you go out that, you increase your chance of getting hurt. So from the trained eye, I look at that, and as you age, your bodies change.
Yeah.
Testosterone levels are gonna decrease.
Right.
That's a big thing. And it's just your recovery is going to take longer. So you got to
Way
rest
longer.
more. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of people don't understand. They think you're going to come into the gym 5-6 days a week and they're going to get great results. Well, if you don't rest enough, you don't sleep enough, you don't take your off days, you're actually tearing your muscles down. You're tearing your body down. That cortisol, you're not giving your body enough time to recover and grow.
Right.
So a good trainer will be able to tell you, this is your program for you. Some people can get away with, working out 5 days a week. Some people can't. Each individual is different. There's a lot of factors involved with that. What's your sleep quality? A lot of people don't know. You got to get in bed before 10 o'clock. 10 to midnight, that's when your growth hormone is at its highest. People don't know that. So why would I stay up watching Netflix at midnight? I just lost an opportunity to grow muscle by sleeping.
Yeah.
Because people don't think about that. Well, I'm going to grow muscle in the
We
gym.
don't.
Well, you grow muscle and you sleep. So you got a good sleep.
Yeah, we don't, because I tell everybody anything past 10 o'clock might as well be 6 in the morning,
Mhm.
because I'm done. I'm like I can't, and I slowly progressed to there because I used to be the person playing all night. Because I'm a good example of everything you just said. I really am, and I experienced everything. That's why I'm big now into safety, sleep, more than anything, sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And then the other one is nutrition.
yeah,
So
nutrition is the
you know,
big one. How is your nutrition? Or do you guide them through nutrition a little bit?
I'm not certified as a nutritionalist,
Right.
but being, I mean, and here's the thing, I not to toot my own horn, but
Yeah.
I get 15% body fat, and it's not all about the fat content in your body as far as nutrition, but
Yeah.
it plays such a huge role in that, so you really do got to watch when you eat, when you eat,
Huh.
you can't undereat, you can't overeat. So I work with the clients is get them their daily calorie intake,
Okay.
which is a good baseline. So depending on their goals, do they want to lose weight? Do they want to gain muscle? That's that's all an equation that that has to be
Yeah.
figured out.
So it's a little tricky just to see what they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you personally guide me to you, what do you eat on a daily basis? Like, what's a good nutrition for you?
For me, I try to stay with whole foods. A lot of vegetables. The vegetables are key. You got to get that fiber. Like this morning, I'm a big oatmeal guy with berries.
Uh-huh.
And walnuts, almonds.
And guys, it's 8 o'clock. So what time did this happen?
Normally, I try to eat
Like
within an hour when I get up.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, 7 o'clock or whatnot.
You're ready.
But there is an aspect of you fasted, fasting which I think is a really good thing.
Do you practice that? Or
I
no?
do several times, a couple times a week. I'll
How
fast.
long?
I usually go to about noon.
Okay.
So
So
not
what
too
time do you
extreme.
stop eating the day before?
Stop eating 8 o'clock.
Okay.
7 or 8 o'clock the night before. Fast till noon. That's not so much for weight loss. It can be used for weight loss because you're limiting the amount of calories you're intaking.
Okay.
But I do it for a cleanse. I believe there's some cleansing and also for your mental cleanse.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically like a detox.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's all good. So I do have some experience in that.
Good.
But it depends on what you're. I'm not trying to lose weight. But I maintain my weight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You have a pretty good physique.
Yeah. Thanks.
How old are you?
I'm coming up on 60. I'll be 58 this year. So.
Nice.
And that's the thing. I had a lady tell me a couple of months ago. We were talking about nutrition and fitness, and she says, "Oh, it's too late for me." She was only 49, and I was like, "It's never too late."
Jeez Louise.
Not to sound corny again, but it is never too late. My father's 82 years old. I was over there last week working out with him, showing him different things, to stabilize his core. Obviously he's 82. He's not going to be working out like I work out.
Right.
I don't work out like I was when I was 20, and that's okay. We adapt. And that's what life is about, adapting to the challenges. And aging can be a challenge. It is going to be a challenge.
It is. Yeah, and a lot of the members here, you've seen it. Everybody looks amazing. Everybody works out. Our pictures on Instagram and everything. But one of the things I tell them is, we're not just here for the picture now. We're here for the longevity now.
Yeah.
We want to preserve that muscle as much as we can.
Right. That's right.
And they're like, what? I'm like, yes, we need that muscle when we get older. We don't think about that, but we need that muscle.
It's all truly life. Longevity is all about the muscle, and I'm not talking about the show muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna come. I mean, that's a byproduct of putting the muscle on. But I have a lot of the famous thing you hear. Most women say, I don't want to get bulky. Well, you're probably putting too much muscle on. That's really not going to happen.
I know. I wish it did.
It's not that easy. A lot of times you see the bulky people. They're doing some other type of supplements that are getting them there. But with the muscle, getting back to the muscle is going to. We talk about mental health. The muscle is going to help your mental health. The muscle is going to help your bone strength. A lot of women have problem with bone density. Well, you put a little muscle on your frame, you're going to have stronger bones. Your blood glucose is going to be right there. Your insulin sensitivity is going to be better. Everything's going to be better. Mm-hmm. Put more muscle on. What's that going to do? That's going to burn more fat while you sleep. So yeah, muscle is key.
While you sleep.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
Yeah. Right.
That is so good. Now, what do you think about our facility?
It's got everything and then some for the equipment, the way it's set up. the flow. It's got a good flow. You know, we
Okay.
talk about flow. Flow is
Yeah.
important. You know, and not to get into the mind again, but when you got good flow, you got good energy. You know what I'm saying? And this gym has that energy and that flow.
Yeah.
You know, you got some serious individuals in there getting after it. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
some some newbies in there trying to learn. You got the boxing. You got a little bit of everything here, and that's why I really like it here. I really feel comfortable here. There's something
Good.
for everybody here.
Is there, what would be your favorite area? I don't
My
know if there is. It's hard, but I know.
you know that is hard to say. I get it. You know, I like the outside. It's just got different variables. You know, different. It offers so much you could change. You know, because that's the thing. You got variety. Because when you don't have variety, you get bored. You know, as human beings, we get bored because we want a little variety.
Dude.
This gym has a lot of variety. So that's because I do something different. Almost, I'm more well-rounded.
Yeah.
You know, so
You
sometimes
can get away with it.
Yeah,
With going here,
yeah.
going outside, body weight stuff. Yeah.
Right. It's got everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got the pool. And I don't know if people are doing the pool.
Well, they're not using the
swimming,
pool.
Swimming is awesome. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
So,
I was sore. What was it? 4th of July weekend when we go camping every year, and
yeah.
I was sore because
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
swim.
yeah.
That's the only time I swim.
It's a great exercise. Yep.
Jeez,
real
lats, everything.
Sure.
I'm like, why are you sore like that?
Yeah.
Because we swam all the way around the lake.
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Now, what would you tell that person that's thinking over, let's say, 45 to like 55? They're thinking about joining, or because we have people that never have worked out, never touched the gym,
Yeah.
or even worked out.
Well, I'd say first and foremost, I'd say do it. I mean, don't do it tomorrow. You know, I mean, because we none of us know how much longer we have. We only have today,
Yeah.
and if we're lucky, we'll have tomorrow.
Right.
You know, so get here today. You know, join up. You know, start getting better, feeling better about yourself. And that's the other thing about fitness. You're going to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Any client I've ever had in my training career,
Yeah.
if they stay with me consistently, because it's going to take time. I'm not going to say you're going to come in here for a week and all of a sudden you're going to be,
You're like,
you know,
nice.
it's going to take time. And that's a big question. How
Yeah.
long is it going to take? Well,
Yeah,
for
it
me,
depends.
it's a journey. I'm still getting, it's a journey. I'm still getting there. You know,
Yeah.
but give it a good 3 months, 6 months.
Huh.
You're going to get results, and you're going to feel like you were better than you were the 6 months prior.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would get in the gym. You know, if we have not only myself as a trainer, but the club has a whole line of different trainers.
We have young, old, we have
And that's the
everybody.
thing. Find a trainer that works for you. You know,
Yeah.
interview. You know, we give free comp sessions here.
Yeah.
Interview different trainers. See the ones that you're comfortable with. You know, and get that connection. You know, get that relationship with that person. And I guarantee that trainer is gonna help you obtain your goals. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna be healthier, and life's gonna be good. You know, that's how you make your life better.
Now, I
you know?
do have one question in mind that, thank God I didn't forget. To the busy people, because nowadays everyone's busy.
Yeah.
You know, I just learned to wake up earlier, especially when I had my daughter. You know, I'm like, all right, you gotta wake up earlier. So that's why I'm working towards that. What would you tell that busy person that can only make it in 3 times a week?
Hey, 3 times a week's good. You know, I mean,
I think so, too.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a good amount. You can get really good results with 3 times a week. I would say, you know, the old adage, you got to make time. Well, how do I make time? Well, we all get 24 hours a day.
We do.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta carve out that time, and it's basically when I said earlier, what's your why? You know, everybody's got their own why in life. You know, and I can't tell anybody what their why should be, but your health should be pretty close to the top.
Up there.
You know, I mean, we talk about money and all these material things, and you know, you can have $10 million and be 50 years old, but if your health isn't there, how are you going to enjoy
You
it?
can spend
How you
all that money, you
know?
can't get that time.
You know, time is the most valuable commodity because we're all running out of it. I don't care how much money you have.
yeah.
You know, so
It's just some people realize it and some people
yeah,
don't realize it.
you got to make it a priority. I mean, you got to sit down.
Yeah.
You know, do a little deep breathing. You know, get in a good quality meditative state and think about it. You know, and tell yourself you have to hear that self. It's called self-talk. You have to convince yourself. You know,
Yeah.
your health should be a priority, and then you got to find that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the other thing I keep hitting on the personal training, what a good personal trainer is going to do is going to give you a quality workout in a minimum amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you things, you know, it's going to give you a good workout in 30 minutes. You don't have to be in the gym for 2 hours to get a good workout.
And that used to be me.
20 minutes. I can give you a good workout in 20 minutes. So if you can't find three days a week to work out for 20 minutes, then you really don't want it.
Yeah,
know,
it's
at
not
the end of the day.
priority. Yeah, I agree because I stumbled and well, someone was asking me this week. I'm like, that's gonna be a math question for Matt because he's like, I can only make it 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that should be enough time. But then nutrition is big too.
Yeah.
So I did tell him that I'm like, your nutrition just
Yeah.
has to change.
Yeah.
And I did guide him. I'm like, come up here to one of the trainers. They'll get you going. I know they will. So hopefully he'll get him going.
Good. Yeah.
All right, Matt. Well, one more thing before I let him go because he said he has time. Women, totally different human beings than we, man. So
That's not a bad thing.
it's not a bad thing.
I got 3 daughters.
But
So.
yeah, no, but like they want to lose everything quick. They
Oh,
want to
yeah,
be
yeah,
like this, and I'm like, no, you guys bring life into the world. Your whole bodies is way different than us
Yeah,
men.
yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
take a little longer for everything to settle down. So what about them? What would you tell them to get started or keep going or not to get discouraged? Because it is a little challenging.
Well, ultimately, it's about self-image. You got to be your own best friend. I
Right.
notice in women that they're hard on themselves. Women are
Yeah.
hard on themselves. Men,
Yeah.
men, in my experience, aren't not so much. So don't be so hard on yourself. Men, women, we're all human beings. We're all beautiful creatures. So keep that front and foremost. So you want to get results, right? So get the muscle. Once again, I'm coming back to the muscle.
Yeah.
Get the muscle. Get the right exercises you're doing. Believe me, I see a lot of things. I'm very aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
With what people are doing, and it's hard to watch for me as a trainer because what they're doing, they're spending an hour and they're not going to gain any muscle from what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's where you got to invest some time in the knowledge, that good personal trainers have. Even if it's 1 or 2 sessions. I had a training session the other day. It was just half an hour long. And it was really focused. And this lady, she was in great shape. She was already there. But she had a question about gaining muscle in a certain part of her body. So I focused on that, and we exchanged some information, and she was really educated on that. And she thanked me for the education, and she went on her way. So it's whatever it is you want to learn or make better about yourself. Ask the questions. You know what I'm saying, and just show up. I can't show up to the gym. That's the hardest part, getting to the gym, showing up.
Yeah.
Or even if you don't find a personal trainer, or you don't want to go that route, then find a workout buddy. Once again, accountability. If your personal trainer isn't holding you accountable, then find somebody you can work out with, a friend or family relatives. Meet at the gym to get they call that a workout buddy, right?
Yeah.
That's accountability, because you're going to have hard days, and create them habits. Don't miss 1 day, but don't miss 2 days.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it works. No, and I'm just thinking of myself because it does. That's exactly how it goes. So I had buddies. Now I can do it alone.
Yeah.
Now I can just come. Now I have the app on the phone.
Because you got the momentum.
Yeah.
You created that momentum, and you keep moving now. But you
Yeah.
had to have that spark. Something's got to spark you.
Yeah.
Once you get that spark going, don't stop. Just make it a habit. Make it part of your journey. That's what I do. When I work out, I don't. It's just like having
breathing.
my oatmeal in the
It's
morning.
like breathing,
the same thing,
yeah.
But I've made it a habit. So I don't even think about it.
And the message I preach now to everyone, don't lose that time. If you really want to get going, get a trainer.
Yeah.
They're going to teach you the ins, the outs, the what to, the what not to. Because guess what? I lost like a decade or so watching YouTube, watching Instagram, watching TikTok now.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
It's cool.
It's information overload is what it is. And a good trainer is going to help you sift through that, what works for you, what's going to work for you. Because, even for me, one of the other trainers here, Danny, he's a big, strong guy. The guy's a monster. He's
70 or 80. No, 70, I think.
Yeah, or Danny and Danny, and they work out differently because they're different ages.
Yes.
So I'm not going to work out like Danny, but I'll work out more like Danny because he's closer to my age. So, but they're both great trainers, but they have different philosophies, and they work for different people. So find that trainer that works for you. And here's the biggest thing: you're gonna be educated. Say you train for a year, you could take what you learned for that year, and for the rest of your life, you can utilize it. So that's an investment. What they say, invest in yourself. That's an investment in yourself. Return on investment.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you could take that education and you could transfer it to your, one of your family members or your spouse or your friends.
Your kids,
that's something that you could pass
yeah.
on. So it's a really good investment. So,
It is. So don't lose that time, and Matt's gonna be here with us, guys.
mhm.
All right, are you going on vacation anytime soon?
I am.
All right, good.
I'm heading out, and I'll be here till October, but for a week. So,
Okay.
but I'll be here for
Okay,
sign
guys.
up.
Just
I'm
sign
available.
up, guys. Are you where are you going? Florida? Texas?
Heading out to Hawaii.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
on my bucket list.
yeah, it's a good one.
Last question again. Do you have a favorite bodybuilder?
Uh, you know, I'll tell you this. I'm old school, right?
Yeah.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger, you read his book. Yeah, he's got a good book out there. You talk about his work ethic, because fitness is about anything's about work ethic, you know. And that guy's work ethic was
It's insane.
insane.
I know.
mean, what he
I know.
accomplished in his life, not only as a bodybuilder, but along the way, coming over from another country, not be able to speak the language.
Governor, or what was he?
Yeah,
governor,
of
right?
California.
Yeah. Movies.
But in body, he was ahead of his time when, you know, as far as bodybuilding goes.
Yeah.
About making muscle, creating muscle, and fitness. I mean, he's a big part of fitness, not only
is.
making the muscle. But yeah, Arnold was
It's a big one.
was
Yeah, same for me. He's up there too for me. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Matt.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Yeah.
We will do a part 2 down the road.